It happened.
No more. I got the horses in the bag. Horse stock is attached.
I gotta close my door now. I hate doing that. What's going on, guys? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another Major League Baseball recap. It has been quite some time since we have been able to make one of these videos because if we're being honest with ourselves, baseball has been boring for about 2 weeks now. There's not been any new signings. I guess the one big one in the last couple days was Mike Machado. He signed a one-year deal with the Brewers. He lost out on about $8 million because he declined an option in 2017. Thought he was going to get more money and then ended up not getting more money. So I feel bad for Mike Moustakas. But we have some major breaking news right now coming from Jeff Passan over on Twitter. I was literally just minding my own business, just like all of you people watching right now. And maybe you guys don't even know yet because some of you are at school, some of you are at work, just doing your thing. Manny Machado just signed a 10-year, not 5, not 6, not 7, a 10-year, $300 million deal with the San Diego Padres. And the San Diego Padres, they have made a huge amount of deals in the last couple of years to try and get themselves in a position to win because they've not been good for quite some time. They're trying to be great again. I mean, not that they've ever been great because, yeah, it's been quite some time. Anyways, what we're going to do in today's video is we are going to break down every single element of what this signing could mean, whether it's going to mean for Manny Machado going forward, what it's going to mean to the Padres, what it's going to mean for baseball, and especially Bryce Harper, because this is the first domino to fall. Mike Moustakas said, you know what, I'm not going to wait for these guys, I'm going to sign. Manny Machado just signed a 10-year, $300 million contract. And what's been the biggest story of the 2019 offseason so far is who's going to get more money, who's going to get the longer contract between Bryce Harper and Manny Machado. So I'm curious. I wonder if Scott Boras is going to tell Harper that, you know what, bud, you are better than Machado, so you're probably going to get more money. Hold out for as long as possible. I'm wondering if Bryce Harper is going to get a 10-year, $310 million, $305, just anything to beat Machado. I feel like he's going to try and do that. So again, guys, Manny Machado gets a 10-year, $300 million contract from the San Diego Padres. We are going to show some quick highlights of Manny Machado just in case you guys aren't too familiar with him. You should be, because he's been one of the best players in the league going back 5 to 6 years now. So we're going to roll some clips back when he was on the Orioles. Then we're going to transition into his kind of short stint with the Dodgers. There was a few bumps in the road. The one thing I want you guys to do before this video starts and we get more in depth is take away the bias that you guys have, because a lot of you do not like Manny Machado. Take the covers over your eyes and actually look at this from a baseball standpoint. Okay, look at the stats, look at the depth chart of the Padres going forward. What does this mean for Bryce Harper? Don't let any of your personal bias get in the way. Let's talk baseball. Let's talk stats.
And he's drilled, and Manny's going after him. And here.
And Machado was out.
Manny Machado is only 26 years old, so this is a big time deal because he's going to be 36 by the time that this deal is over. A lot of people wanted to compare Manny Machado and Bryce Harper to people like Miguel Cabrera or even Albert Pujols, because I almost made a video saying Albert Pujols destroyed the free agency market with his 10-year deal because he got 10 years, he got a bajillion dollars, but then his injuries got in the way and it just made a really bad contract. So I felt like that Albert Pujols contract ruined the chances for Manny Machado and Bryce Harper, but obviously not. 10 years, $300 million. So don't let the past contracts affect you. I'm hoping that this is the domino effect to kind of fix free agency. Maybe they think they deserve more, but Manny Machado has been a staple as one of the best players in baseball dating back to 2013, his first All-Star season. If we take a look that year, he had 14 home runs, 71 RBIs, 6 stolen bases, and a .283 batting average, so not too bad for a 20-year-old. In 2015, he played in all 162 games. He actually led the league in games played and plate appearances. He had 35 home runs, 86 RBIs, 20 stolen bases, and a .286 batting average. Now, we're not done yet. The next year in 2016, he played in 157 games with 40 doubles, 37 home runs, 96 RBIs, and a .294 batting average. And also, all the years that I've mentioned, he's won a Gold Glove. So not only can he get it done in the batter's box, obviously by the numbers, but he has one of the best arms and gloves in all of baseball, at least in terms of the infielders. So again, you're getting an all-around complete player. And then 20 stolen bases. I mean, what more can you want for out of an infielder? The one season that he had where he didn't play a whole lot of games was back in 2014 at 21 years old. He played in only 82 games, but ever since then, all the other seasons, he's played in the majority of the games. So he played in all 162 last year for the Dodgers and the Orioles. He had 37 home runs, 107 RBIs, 14 stolen bases, and a .297 batting average. So again, Manny Machado, he's up there with some of the best players, top 10 player in all of baseball. So you guys have seen the highlights of Manny Machado. You have seen firsthand what this guy can do on the diamond, whether it's with the wood, whether it's with the glove or his arm. We know that Manny Machado is a 5-tool complete player, but what does that mean for the San Diego Padres? Because if you think about the Padres, they haven't been good for so long, so they're trying to retool and kind of catch up with the rest of the league. Do they have the team? Do they have the prospects? Do they have the rotation and the bullpen? We're going to talk about that right now because the Padres, they might be looking nice in a few years. So for some context, before we talk about the entire depth chart, I kind of want to talk about what the lineup could look like if we put Manny Machado in the mix of things. So the way that it could work is I think Will Myers might lead off and play right field. Luis Urias, their top prospect, I think he might go from shortstop to third base. He's probably going to bat number 2. Then Eric Hosmer at the number 3 spot playing first base. Instead of Hunter Renfroe in left field now batting 4th, I think Manny Machado fits in perfectly at that cleanup spot. So far, Will Myers, Luis Urias, Eric Hosmer, Manny Machado, that's a pretty good 1 through 4. And then if you factor in Hunter Renfroe, you just signed Ian Kinsler, you already have Francisco Mejia, so you guys can kind of build and choose how you want this lineup to look. But so far, with the addition of Manny Machado, the Padres are looking a whole lot more lethal going into 2019. I'm not saying that they're going to make a push, but this definitely inches them closer to being able to get that World Series under their belt. I think they're still a few years away from getting that World Series, but honestly, if they add a couple more guys to the rotation, because we're going to talk about their depth chart in just a second, they're just a few pieces away from being scary good. All right, guys, so what you're looking at right now is the 2019 projected depth chart for the Padres. Now, again, this is before the Padres signed a 10-year, $300 million deal with Manny Machado, so we can see the full scale of things. We have Will Myers in left, Manuel Margot or Franchi Cordero in center field, probably going to platoon. Then you have Hunter Renfroe, you have Franmil Reyes, who can rake as well. So the Padres, they do have a ton of good players on their team, but the thing that scares me the most is their rotation. Their rotation should be improved in 2019. They did sign Garrett Richards. Garrett Richards, when healthy, back when he was with the Angels, was one of the top 10 pitchers in baseball. If you guys don't believe me, I'll put up the stats right now of Garrett Richards, but he is really good when he's on top of his game, but he's had so many injuries. I kind of feel bad for the guy, but right now, the Padres, what they need to focus on going forward is not prospects because they have a million of them, not outfielders because they have a surplus for days. They need to focus on getting that rotation healthy and signing a few more guys. So in my opinion, I don't think the Padres are done just yet. If I had to put my bank account on someone being signed, I think that Gio Gonzalez will sign with the Padres here pretty soon. And if not, I think they're going to sign a few more kind of middle of the road rotation pieces and just keep going and adding pieces. Another area of concern that I have for the Padres, because I think their offense and defense is coming along quite nicely, especially with Eric Hosmer. I think that he's going to have a better sophomore season with the Padres. But if we take a look at their bullpen, we have Kirby Yates, we have Craig Stammen. They have a bunch of decent guys in their bullpen. So if they sign a few more pieces, I think that they'll be ahead of schedule as well. So whether it's calling up players to fill in that rotation or their bullpen or signing a few pieces, I think that's the only concern right now for the Padres. And I'm sure that you guys might have concerns as well. So if I forgot to mention anything, if there's one player that you guys like, Fuzzy, you forgot to mention him, let me know in the comment section down below, because I know a lot of people are thinking, what does this Machado deal mean for baseball, the Padres, Machado, free agency? Because there's a lot to talk about with just this one signing. All right, guys, so now it comes down to a pretty heated debate. So we talked about how Manny Machado is not only going to help himself with that contract, but also the Padres, the fact that they could be a playoff contender in 2019 just with this simple addition. What does this signing mean for Bryce Harper? Again, Manny Machado gets a 10-year, $300 million contract with the San Diego Padres. So does that mean Bryce Harper is going to get an 11-year deal? Does that mean he's going to stay at the 10 years but then go for $320 million, $310 million? We're going to go over Harper's stats in just a second, because the more that I look at Machado's stats, I'm a big Bryce Harper fan, but after looking at the stats, my voice is going. I'm so excited to talk about baseball. I need water, okay? All right, we're good. Just the more I look at Machado's stats and the more I talk about him, it just seems like the perfect fit for San Diego. I still think the White Sox and the Phillies would have been good choices for Machado, but I think the Phillies are now primed to get Bryce Harper. So let's go over Bryce Harper's stats real quick. But before we do that, let's show a few highlights so you guys can kind of see how good this guy is too.
On a pitch up, he rams it to center, way over the head of Matt Kemp. That'll short hop the wall, and Bryce Harper digs his way into his first major league hit.
There it is, center field, and Bryce Harper has thrown his bat in the air and won the 2018 T-Mobile Home Run Derby, and he loves it.
Bryce Harper is also 26 years old, the same age as Manny Machado. That's why it's been such a heated debate as to who's better, who's going to get the longer contract. So Bryce Harper has won an MVP. He's a 6-time All-Star. He's won the Rookie of the Year. In his MVP season, pretty much his only really good season, his outlier season so far, because every other season he's been good but not amazing. In 2015, at 22 years old, I'm 22 right now. I cannot believe that this guy did this. He had 118 runs, 38 doubles, 42 home runs, 99 RBIs, a .330 batting average, and he led the league in on-base percentage, slugging percentage, and OPS with the 1.109 OPS, which is Barry Bonds video game type numbers. And then in 2018, before he was able to be a free agent, he played in 159 games, so he was healthy, but he did have 34 home runs, 100 RBIs, he led the league in walks, 130, but he had a .249 batting average and an .889 OPS, which again is still pretty good. We praised Chris Davis for being a guy that hits a lot of home runs and hits .247 for 4 years in a row. So if we're praising Chris Davis, why is Bryce Harper not getting praised? It's because Bryce Harper's so good. He's been on the cover of ESPN at 16 years old, so now it's time for the debate. Is Bryce Harper going to get more money than Manny Machado? In my opinion, I think that Bryce Harper will, just because with Harper, you get the fanfare, you get the festivities of Bryce Harper. He's the face of baseball, at least in terms of who is the most popular player. Mike Trout's the best player. Bryce Harper is the face of baseball. So, guys, what do you think of this signing? Are the Padres going to be really good in 2019? How long of a contract is Harper going to get? Where is he going to go? If I had to put my bank on it, I'm probably going to say that Bryce Harper signs a 10-year, $305 to $310 million deal with the Phillies. So that's it for me, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Baseball, the hot stove, is finally back. We're 2 days away from spring training, so it's all just kind of coming into play. I think that Harper signs within the next few days. So, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Slap a like on this video if you did enjoy. Subscribe for more baseball content to update you guys first. Catch you later.